Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now today we are going to be doing a review of the LEGO Star Wars 75385 Ahsoka Tano's DUEL on Peridea. Now starting off with the box, I'd say it's your pretty box standard LEGO box. It's much thicker than I was expecting. So the box art I really like. It depicts the sort of battle they have on the tower on Peridea in the final episode of the Ahsoka show. And we also have the Chimera here, so Thrawn's Star Destroyer, and then loads of clouds in the background. So yeah, it's a pretty sort of your average LEGO background, but I think it looks good either way. And there's similar stuff on the back here. And of course we've got the Ahsoka variant of the LEGO Star Wars packaging with Ahsoka here and teal colours for the borders. Now onto the minifigures. So first we have Ahsoka, who I love. I think she's got really good torso and leg printing, and her arm printing is really good, and it was perfectly put by a fellow LEGO YouTuber, Venator Bricks, who said those printed arms are W, and I definitely agree. Now Ahsoka has her headpiece, and in this one it is slightly different to the previous one because obviously she changes that sort of crown thing that she has on her forehead, which better complements the Ahsoka the white outfit. Now she comes with two lightsabers, which, you know, they're just the generic white lightsabers. Now she does have back printing, which again I like. I think it's as good as the torso and leg printing, and she also has another face. Now next is Ezra. So I think Ezra looks really good. I loved his torso and leg printing. I wish he had arm printing, but I can sort of look past it because I do like this minifigure. The face printing is really good. He's got his little scar that he has from Rebels and the really healthy beard that he has in the show. Now the piercing blue eyes I think I like. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about them. I think they look okay on the alien figures, but on a human I'm not so sure about it. And he also has his hairpiece, which is the same that Luke has in the Luke's Hut set. Now like Ahsoka, Ezra has a angry face, which is simply just Ezra looking angry. Now next is Thrawn. Now I'd say this minifigure is probably one of the more anticipated figures of the set, as this is the first one we've had since the Rebel sets came out. Now this is better in many ways. For example, Thrawn has legs which are dual coloured, so we've got the black representing the boots, and then the rest of the white is just the rest of his uniform. And also his rank badge sort of thing is actually correct this time, so that's good. Now as well as this, Thrawn's hair is black, which makes it look more accurate to the show, I'd say. And just like Ahsoka and Ezra, Thrawn also has an angry face. Now other differences to the Rebels minifigure include the skin colour, with Thrawn's skin being a lot more lighter with this Ahsoka show minifigure, but I think that's just because they were trying to go for a more accurate representation of Thrawn from the show, and Rebels were trying to get a more accurate representation of Thrawn from Rebels, and he was depicted as having a slightly darker blue skin. Now on to Morgan Elsbeth. Now I think she is a good minifigure. I like the face printing, I like the torso printing. I think she could have done with some arm printing to add some more flair to the minifigure because the legs are pretty boring, they're just black legs. But I especially like the hairpiece. I think the hairpiece is really good, and it's obviously the same one that we had from the Shin Hati Starfighter versus E-Wing. Now like the previous minifigure, she does have an angry face, and I mean it's just Morgan Elsbeth being angry, I suppose. I think if LEGO were to make a more detailed version of the Blade of Talzin, it would have to be its own separate piece, which I think would just drive up the price of the set, so I'm okay with it. Now finally is the Night Trooper, and I don't mind this minifigure, but personally I would have liked Captain Enoch instead, because I just think it would have been a better addition to the set and would have complemented the other minifigures better. However, this minifigure is good. It's got the cracks along his armour, which have been filled with a golden material. It could be Star Wars version of gold, I don't know. And he's also got the red bandages going across his chest and torso area and leg and all that. To be honest, this minifigure's sort of just meh for me. It's just a stormtrooper with red bandages and golden cracks along the... God, it sounds wrong every time I say that. I mean, I like it, it's okay. I just think it would have been better if we had Captain Enoch, but you know, it is what it is. Now underneath the helmet, the Night Trooper actually has a zombie head, and I think this is a really neat attention to detail. In hindsight, I think it's probably kind of obvious that LEGO were going to do this, seeing as they are zombies, they're not alive, so, you know, it's a neat attention to detail, I think, and I like the face. I think it's a really good zombie looking face, and the eyes are really quite piercing, but I do think those help complement the zombie ness of the Night Trooper. Okay, so now onto the build, and to be honest, I'm not sure what I think about this. With the minifigures on, it looks really good because I think they help bring it to life and add some more colour to it. However, without the minifigures, I'm not really sure it's the same. A lot of people have been saying it is like a grey slab with pillars on it, and I can see why they're saying that because it is a grey slab with pillars on it. However, I think the pieces with the sort of circular designs, which are unfortunately stickers and they're not printed, I think they help bring a bit of life, I suppose, to this build, whereas if they weren't on there, I think it would be very dull. I think this set really resembles a diorama set rather than the play set. However, there are play functions in it, such as the turning sort of circular bits within the platform, and there are cogs on the sides to move those. However, the more centered one, there isn't a cogs, so you do sort of have to just move it with your hand on it, which is a bit awkward. Now, the back of the pillars do have some golden details. I'm not sure why they're there, but they do help bring a little bit more color, I suppose, to the build. At the end of the day, I think the build is okay if it were to be a diorama set. However, this set is a play set, so the build, it could be better. Now, although these circular bits and designs on the platform are stickers, it didn't hinder the build experience at all, in my opinion. In fact, I really enjoyed the building experience of this because there was very little technic, and it was just a very pleasant build overall. It got slightly repetitive when you had to build the pillars. However, that didn't bother me too much because they are small parts of the build and they really didn't take that long each. Now, the underside of the build definitely is not anything special. It's literally just your basic underside of a Lego build, I suppose. As well as this, there is this little function at the back of the build which you can use to flick minifigures up and just, I don't know, it's a play function, so you know. Now, I think one thing I do like about this build, which I think is probably going to be unique to me, is the symmetry with it. I think it looks quite symmetrical and quite, I suppose, angular in a way, and I find that quite appealing to me. However, that is simply just a weird opinion of mine. So, is the set worth it? To be honest, I'm not sure. Now, one thing we didn't consider, or I didn't consider when going through the video, was that this set includes 382 pieces and it costs £50, which is not a good price per piece ratio. And I feel like LEGO tried to justify this price through the inclusion of some good minifigures, but at the end of the day, I think the build is mediocre at best. If this was a diorama, I think it would be on a good level. However, LEGO has advertised this as a playset, and there are some good play features, but I think for a playset there isn't much detail, or there isn't much sort of stuff there for a playset. So I think it's sort of in the middle. I love the minifigures, I think they're brilliant, but yeah, let me know what you think of this set down in the comments below, whether you like it or you don't, and I will see you all in the next video.